everybody. Happy Monday. Live streams are back after a week off for the Batman coverage. It takes a lot of time to edit those videos. And also, I thought that the trailers that were coming out last week would require some shot-by-shot breakdowns, but that was not the case. They were more low-key and less popular than I had anticipated. But anyway, I see a lot of people joined for today's stream. Tito, welcome back. Archie, hello, nice to see you. Aaron Carty, Finn Moreau, that's a cool name. If you join during a watch along, I'll give you a shout out as soon as you join, but I'll do a couple of shout outs at the end like I always do. This is a spoiler discussion. Oh, by the way, speaking of members, if you're a BTT Movie Club member, first of all, thank you very much. But if you are, we're having our next watch-along. Not Spider-Man No Way Home is for everyone, but we're having our BTT Movie Club watch-along for that level of membership this Sunday at 5:30 p.m. And the vote is currently up for what movie we're going to watch. And then we'll have a runoff vote on Wednesday with the top two choices. So if you are a Movie Club member, be sure to head over to the Community tab and place your vote for what we're going to watch on Sunday. All right, so this is a spoiler discussion for the Batman. Hey, Eric. Hey, Devin. Where we can talk about anything that you want to talk about. Hey, Vanderson Valley. Anything you want to discuss, you can ask me anything you'd like for 20 minutes. We're going to 20 minutes. I think 20 minutes is a good amount of time to talk. Hey, Corey Roberts. And by the way, I saw so many people being like, oh, Grace, I think the Joker is Two-Face. And then Matt Reeves was like, no, it's the Joker. And I don't know. Well, first, let me just say that the box office was even stronger on Sunday than anticipated. And it's actually at 134 for the weekend. And that also bodes very well for it doing big box office during the week. Hey, Vinny, which I said yesterday, Movie Math was important for it to perform all of the Joker. Hey, Meg. So here's the thing. I think that, Matt Reeves was talking about, this is obviously a spoiler discussion. All right. So Matt Reeves was talking about doing a Joker scene that he'd cut where Joker and Batman are having a conversation about Riddler. And I think that just could totally potentially change the movie. I don't know if he should. I mean, everybody loves this movie so much. I don't know if he should release a 4-hour cut, quite frankly. I think it's a slippery slope. What do you guys think? What would you do? I mean, I know that some of you will be like, I will take anything that I can get. But I'm like, just leave it alone and focus on a sequel. Madeline, I think it's very likely they'll make a sequel, and hopefully faster than they're making the Joker sequel. So some of you guys seem mixed on if you want to see it or not. Tech Noir is like, give me that sweet 4-hour cut. Although Tito says 3 hours was too much. I don't need more. That's funny. Also, I think a lot of us didn't care for the Joker, so I don't really know if I want to see more of this Joker. Hey, Cadence. I'd be like, oh, that's funny, Madeline. No touchy. That's right. One of my favorite quotes from The Emperor's New Groove. Always the bridesmaid when it comes to what we should watch for BTT Movie Club. All right, so you can, hey, Brandon. So this is an interactive discussion where you can ask me anything that you'd like. I really want to, I've had a 47-minute spoiler review. I really want you guys to lead the discussion here. I know if you don't even want to, a lot of you don't even want to do the Joker again right now. Hey, Jacob. Hey, Davin. Mika says Barry Keoghan, that's how you pronounce his name, is Joker. Do you think he will have his comics accurate origin story? Hey, Starry. Well, actually, I know he won't if Matt Reeves sticks with this, because Matt Reeves said that his Joker didn't fall in a vat of chemicals, but in fact was born with an affliction that's actually a real thing, where your muscles in your face are permanently contorted so you're always smiling. And Matt Reeves said that because he'd grown up with that from birth, hey, Jeff, that had really warped him as an individual. Hey, brown-eyed black sheep, always nice to see you. And I don't know how I feel about that, to be honest with you. I'm like, hey, Matt Reeves, quit while you're ahead. Everybody thinks you're a genius. I don't like that change to the Joker. I think that's too much. What do you guys think? A lot of you want to see Poison Ivy, but I don't know how you could do Poison Ivy in this more realistic world. I think that's why you see her very rarely done in live action, because she's I think she's Batman's only actual superpowered villain. Rahul is like, stop messing with my Joker. That's funny. Tarlos is like, Matt Reeves needs to slow his roll. I mean, you could get, as Denzel pointed out with Poison Ivy, an ecological terrorist who's an expert in poisons. That's cool, but I don't know how much people would be excited about that. Also, aren't they going to make Joker 2? I mean, Todd Phillips is taking forever, but he's supposed to. I agree with Millie Joe. Heart of Ice. Matt Reeves says he wants to do Mr. Freeze. I think a really strong Mr. Freeze, like the Batman animated series, is not only a good fit with Matt Reeves' world, but it hasn't been done in live action before. I think visually it could be stunning with the ice, and there's a science, explanation for the ice. So I think that's who. What villain would you guys like to see in the sequel? What Batman Rogues Gallery villain would you like to see? I know a lot of David wants to see Court of Owls. Court of Owls, not a big fan of. I would suspect they would introduce Court of Owls first on HBO Max. Dark Savior, let's kick some ice. I think that's more of a Batman and Robin line from the Joel Schumacher movie, but it's a good one. Mad Hatter's an interesting choice. A lot of you are all about Mr. Freeze. Tech Noir Video says Adam Driver's Harvey Dent. I like that. Although I think Adam Driver doesn't want to make comic book and sci-fi movies anymore. I think he's like, Star Wars was enough. But he'd be great. I think Harvey Dent would be wonderful. Although we just had the Long Halloween animated movie. Devin says, do you think the Batman universe should remain separate from the rest of the DCEU? No, I do not. I don't. I've made a whole video about casting Wonder Woman and Superman. I feel very strongly that this should be what they build off of for the DC movies going forward. I think that, this is a great Batman. I think that I would love to see a Superman and Wonder Woman of this caliber. And I think that this is the answer to Marvel's movies. Let Marvel be a little bit more fun, Saturday morning cartoon, and let DC be more real. Nobody wants to see DC do a knockoff of Marvel. So I'm very curious to see how Black Adam and The Flash, particularly Black Adam. Black Adam to me seems a very Marvel-esque movie. And I don't really know if people are interested in that. We'll see. Janelle Monáe is anything, Mark. I love Janelle Monáe. I don't know about Professor Pig, Owl Watch. Professor Pig has always really creeped me out. Danny Boyd, I don't think you'll ever see an R-rated Batman. Although, of course, Joker was rated R and made a heck of a lot of money. But too many children like Batman and too many parents buy Batman stuff for their children. So I just don't think it'll ever happen. The scene where he helped the woman on the helicopter really struck an emotional reaction from me. Batman truly felt like hope. I'm glad you liked that, Ramon. I thought it was a little bit too much, personally. But I did like the idea that he felt he needed to be more about hope because he had inadvertently inspired henchmen. So I liked the monologue that he said, but I don't know how much I felt about. Also because Robert Pattinson is has a slighter build, and I was like, I don't know if he could have carried that woman. Justin H. says, thoughts on Ra's al Ghul, like from the animated series. That's another great choice, Justin. I would absolutely adore not only to see Ra's al Ghul handled more seriously and a little bit more I think that Christopher Nolan stripped all the interesting elements out of Ra's al Ghul, including him being a Middle Eastern character. It's very important to me that Ra's al Ghul be Middle Eastern, Talia al Ghul be Middle Eastern, and Damian be half Middle Eastern. I think that should, it's bad enough that the comics have taken so long to get that right. But hey, Luis, thanks for joining. I really feel that it's important that the movies depict that. Very, very important to me. I know a lot of you want to see Harley Quinn. I'd love to see Harley Quinn at first just as Dr. Harleen Quinzel for a movie, doing questionable, sketchy things, and then she becomes Harley Quinn. I think that would be great. Devin says, did you like the glider part of the film or no? I hated it. I actually liked it, Devin. I thought he would definitely have broken several bones when he landed that way. I thought that was totally unrealistic. But I like that he messed up. I like that he was like, this is high, and it took a moment to make himself jump. He says, I don't care what happens to me. He's all talk. He's all talk until he gets on top of a building with a glider that he's never tried before. But I mean, I winced and actually out loud was like, ooh, when I saw the movie, when he went underneath the bridge and he hit the truck, I was like, oh my God, that's so bad. But yeah, he would have at least broken several bones, if not have been killed, as Rahul said. Hey, Sean. Thanks for joining Movie Club. Sean and Luis, you both just joined Movie Club. Make sure you vote for Sunday's watch along, what you'd like to see. It's on the community tab on the channel. Harlequin Dove says, in case you've missed my comments, I like, squeaky wheel gets the grease. What do you think of a realistic Azrael and perhaps the storyline where he takes the mantle? Maybe. I personally feel that's a couple steps ahead. I would like to see the Robin storyline finally done correctly with a child character who, grows up with Batman. That's what I'd like to see first. But, I also, to be fair, I've never particularly liked the Azrael storyline. So I wouldn't be rooting for that. But, I'm open to it. Sean, Juno Temple from Ted Lasso is a very interesting Harley choice. I kind of like that. I think that's not a bad choice at all. Kyle says, what if The Flash, Aquaman 2, and Black Adam were successful? Would you still scrap the current DCEU? Anything on Wonder Woman 3? Hey, Manuel, thanks for joining. I said I heard that Wonder Woman 3 was potentially going to be a movie with a lot of DC female characters that would have a lot of fighting, which I think would be a great idea. But I honestly, let these movies come out, but I don't think any of them, I'm open to being surprised, but I would be really, truly surprised if any of these upcoming movies get the kind of visceral reaction that the Joker and the Batman have gotten. Hey, Broadway Disney fan, I would be very surprised. Mika says, is there any DCEU movie in 2022, 2023 that you feel nervous about? They all look pretty good to me. I'm a little nervous about Black Adam. Hey, Frank Cross, thanks for joining. Just because I feel that it looks more like a Dwayne Johnson movie than a DC movie. However, in Dwayne Johnson's defense, I think that the DC Super Pets movie, which he's also doing, but again, how is he the voice of Superman's dog and also Black Adam? Make it make sense. But anyway, I feel that movie looks better and better the more we see of it. So, maybe Dwayne Johnson will make, Super Friends work. Hey, Eric. Thanks for joining. Starry thinks only maybe The Flash will work. Yeah, I think that all hinges on how good Michael Keaton is in the movie. Cody says, how old would you cast Robin? I think he should definitely look like a child. I would need a child who looks like a child but doesn't act like a child actor. I don't need any of that. Hey, Lost Keys. I want like a charming child. Someone who looks like, the child in the Dark Victory art. I think that would be great. I think Jacob Tremblay at one point would have been good, but I think he's grown out of the role. I think he's not young enough for what I would want them to do. Same for Five from Umbrella Academy. He's too old at this point to play that role. And he's not Dick Grayson. He's more like Damian Wayne. But he's too old. But someone like that would be great. Finn says, what about Alison Sudol from the Fantastic Beasts movies? Maybe. I don't know if she's quirky enough. Hey, Marco. Thanks for joining. But I'd certainly think she should audition. I think Anya Taylor-Joy is a great choice. That's a rumor that it's too early for them to be casting anybody right now. They haven't even made a deal for a Batman sequel, but Anya Taylor-Joy, I think, would be a phenomenal Harley Quinn. And like a scary one, too, which I don't like in the comics that Harley Quinn has become kind of a good guy. She's not supposed to be a good guy. And it really annoys me. It annoys me a lot. Mike Abner says, any thoughts on the rumored Arkham Asylum spin-off series? I think it would be great to establish the Arkham lore and introduce Harley and Hugo. I think that would be wonderful. I would love an Arkham Asylum series. I don't know how dark it would get. I think that would be a tough line to walk because you wouldn't want it to get so dark that it would significantly hinder who could watch it. But I would watch it. I love Arkham Asylum stories. So I think that could be fantastic. But I worry about the quality of it. So far, I feel that DC HBO Max shows, hey, report them. I think that HBO Max DC shows have not been movie level quality, and I would even put Peacemaker in that category too. When you watch a Disney Plus show, Star Wars or Marvel, it feels like an extension of the films. I do not feel that way about the DC shows so far. Hey, Pete Garza, what says? Would you stay with the detective type stories? Definitely stay with the detective type stories. I saw, you're saying about more action, and I've seen some complaints about this movie not having enough action. I feel there's tons of action in the Batman. I don't know what people are talking about. It doesn't have to be all punching people. I think there's a lot of jumping around. There's a lot of he punched a lot of people at the club, at the Iceberg Lounge. Although that's not really a lounge. Hey, thanks for upgrading, Ibuka. Make sure you vote for what movie you want to watch on Sunday. But I thought the movie was action-packed. I thought the Batmobile chase was incredible. I think that the Batman had a great balance of detective work and action. So I thought it was great. He punched Gordon, Brad. That's right. Did anyone see them? Someone re-edited that with the Adam West Batman logo, kind of like a scene change. It was really funny. Hey, Matasuki. Owl Watch says, we keep talking about which villains will show up, what heroes could pop up, maybe Green Arrow or The Question. Yeah, I would love to just see Superman fly over the city, just as a great introduction. I think that could be really interesting. I don't know about the characters you're talking about. The characters you're talking about to me seem a little bit more like they would be maybe in a series spinoff. To me, I think the Bat family and building out Batman's world would be the best way to go next. Aludi says, wouldn't it be irresponsible for Batman to have a young Robin fighting crime? It would take away from the immersion. But the whole point is it's horribly irresponsible. It is irresponsible. But this Batman's weird. So I think he's the Batman who's most likely to actually do it. Hey, Aaron, thanks for joining Movie Club. Make sure you vote for Sunday. Paul says, do you think Warner Brothers would ever fold the Batman into the larger DCEU? Or do you think it should stay separate? Well, somebody already asked that earlier in the stream, so I'll just reiterate it. I think it should start a new cinematic universe and they should phase out the other one. Thanks for upgrading, Rahul. Archie, I do think Scarecrow fits this vibe, but I don't know. Scarecrow stories are all about hallucinations, and I don't think those always work. And also, I think it would be too much like Batman Begins and have too many comparisons, so I wouldn't be totally open to that. Let's see here. I'm glad you made it too, Piece of Wonder. Dana O'Leary says, what do you think of Paul or Campion from Raised by Wolves for a good Robin? Those are the right age, and I like both those actors quite a bit. Campion might be too big by the time that they would film this, but that's more what I'm thinking. And not so little that it's totally ridiculous in terms of responsibility. Yeah, Sydney Sweeney could be an interesting Harley Quinn. I don't know if she has the adorable factor that Harley needs, though. Same with Jodie Comer. Jodie Comer might be a better Poison Ivy. Jodie Comer would actually be an excellent Poison Ivy, but she's kind of already played that character on Killing Eve. Hey, Sam. Thanks for joining. Preston, a Harvey Bullock is an interesting choice. I like that. I don't know if anyone's read Batman Earth 1, but they did something, Jeff Johns did something, I gotta admit, pretty interesting, where that Harvey Dent came onto the force and was like this really cool, trim, awesome guy, but yet being a Gotham police detective broke him, and that's how he became the Harvey Dent in the comics. And I thought that was really an interesting commentary. See here. Corey says, do you think there were too many scenes put in the trailers? I felt like I already watched the movie. Well, I didn't watch. Hey, Michael, thanks for joining. I didn't feel like I watched every clip that was released. I do think they released too many clips, but I think, it's tough to advertise a movie. You want to make sure you have enough in there that people go. But I thought there were so many wonderful, quirky little scenes and like Easter eggs in the first part of the movie that I felt that I had not seen a lot of it. By the way, the actor who plays the mayor's son is the perfect age for Robin. I mean, he looked like Robin to me. I told you, I'd be like, hand that kid a Robin application. Jerome says, what do you make of the falling Rotten Tomatoes score and the film's future if it goes too low? It hasn't dropped too low, has it? Last I checked, oh, we're almost out of time. Last I checked, it was at 85. Let's see here. Come on, phone. Yeah, it's still at 85. I think that there are a number of people who, for some reason, feel that comic book movies should be bright and chipper. That happens, and I think there's just nothing you can do about it. Yeah, Sean's right. Joker was like at 68, I think. So I feel like it is what it is. You know, some people are they feel. Just like they view comic books as only being, like some people still feel that comic books are like bam, pow, kerchow, to borrow a line from Lightning McQueen. And they don't understand how sophisticated the medium has become. And that's just something that comic books are just going to have to learn to live with, because I don't think that I think it'll generationally be phased out, to be honest with you. But, you know, we're not there yet. So that's just my opinion. I don't think it's a concern. All right, let me do a couple of shout outs. Just tell me what you guys are up to, where you are, so I can just give you a little shout out to interact with you. Pedro says, how can they keep the detective vibe without repeating the first film? Oh, obvious. They can just have a new mystery. Dancing dogs at the office. Excellent. Tito is pretending to work. That's funny. Breno is at the gym. Oh, look. Vanderson Valley says, I landed a full-time job last week. Congratulations. That's wonderful. I'm so happy for you. Carrie is having brunch in Chicago. Ooh, I love it. Nice. Madeline is driving home for lunch for shrimp tacos. Delicious. I had some shrimp last night. It was delicious. Cadence, new member in the Bronx, New York. Oh, I love it. Hey, neighbor. Little Place of Wonder is in Bulgaria, drinking some tea. Love it. Archie, I'm definitely going to review the Adam Project. I just emailed them again this morning about my screener. They said, we'll let you know when we're putting out screeners. I don't know, have any reviews come out yet? I don't know why they're holding back on that. It's weird. Manuel says, male teacher from Puerto Rico. Oh, that's great. I love that you gave us a little bit of information about yourself. It's so nice to meet you. Mexican Nacho, celebrating that I got a new job for a huge company. Mexican Nacho's been on here a long time. I know Mexican Nacho quite well, and I'm so happy to be able to celebrate that milestone with you. Congratulations. That was a great use of your one highlighted comment a month. Al Watch is eating a pineapple empanada. Ooh. Do I recommend any specific snack for the Turning Red movie? Well, I got to tell you, in the beginning of the film, May's father is cooking dinner, and he's making Chinese food, and it was so realistically animated, it made my mouth water. So maybe you'd like to have some local, some cuisine that reflects the movie to enjoy that. I think that Brown-Eyed Black Sheep says enjoying cranberry bubble tea and doing a project on Egyptian civilization. That's an interesting afternoon. But bubble tea, I think, is a great choice for Turning Red. It's quirky, it's fun, it's a surprise at every sip, and it's very popular in Asia. Rahul says, it's late night, 1 a.m., I'm craving noodles now. Oh, sorry. Yeah, noodles are fantastic. Pedro says, having some fresh coffee and writing my pen pals. Pedro, you have pen pals? That is just fantastic. Oh my gosh. You guys live great lives. That's fantastic. Good for you. Let's see here. Trisha is hyped for Disney's Investor Day. That's right. That's coming up. We'll see what happens to Bob Chapek. Will there be a vote of no confidence? Let's see here. Josh is germinating pumpkin seeds. That's a very interesting thing to do. Ramon says, enjoying this 70-degree day, having lunch at Panera. Ah, that's fantastic. I love to eat outside at Panera. Tarlo says, I need Obi-Wan now. That trailer should be coming any day now. Blick says, making lemonade for a college class I have coming up in a bit. Oh, that's very nice of you. Archie is having Batman Oreos. I'm so jealous of your Batman Oreos. Oh, I'm jealous. They don't have them in the United States. It's sad. All right, everybody, I got to get going. I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you for joining me for today's live stream. Again, if you're, I'm so glad you liked it, Grifter Plays. If you are a BTT Movie Club member, don't forget to vote for this Sunday's watch along, what movie you'd like to watch. And I'll see you tomorrow for another live stream. All right, everybody. Bye. Bye, everybody.